So I've been asking myself the question a lot today. Is there something that I can share on the topic of survivor's guilt that would be an encouragement to those that have lost a loved one, not just to the twin community, but to anyone who is struggling with that? We had a relatively new twinless twin recently join our group and posted a very, very emotional and impactful message and how much he's struggling with that concept of survivor's guilt. And I absolutely have had seasons when I've had that same struggle. And so what I decided I needed to do was to just talk from my heart and share about what I've done over the last 42 years since my twin has passed to break my cycle of survivor's guilt. And it took me 36 years into my journey to be able to do that. And what I did was I stopped asking the questions I had asked as soon as I was old enough to understand that my twin had died. The why me questions, why her questions, why did she die and I survived, and just those really, really challenging questions. And I changed them because I realized that there were questions I was asking that there aren't answers for, that I would never get the answer to that. And so I found myself laying in a hospital bed, getting 7 tumors removed out of my abdomen from a disease called neurofibroma. And basically my body produces too many neurons, which is the cells that make up your brain and your spinal cord. And so I get these crazy masses that grow off my spinal column. And anyways, they were discovered. And so my surgeon, of course, went in to remove them. And when I was laying in the hospital bed, I had a very profound experience where my mom had come to take care of me after my surgery. And when I saw her face over my hospital bed, it was the same face I saw when she was talking to me about my twin having passed. And so I realized that there was an emotion being represented in her, and I just was so touched by that and realized that I had an opportunity to start asking different questions of myself and making different choices. So life is unfair, and there are absolutely very difficult circumstances that we all find ourselves in. Everybody does. Everybody does. And so I started asking myself, what is my purpose? Like, why am I still here? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? And so rather than doing a whole bunch of comparisons to everybody else that was around me, looking at the areas that I felt I was lacking, beating myself up for the things I had not yet accomplished. These were all things that were very much a part of my life prior to this, I want to call it like an awakening that I went through. Honestly, I got quiet with myself. I quieted my mind, and I talk about me, myself, and I. Me being my body, myself being my self-awareness, my mind, my perceptions, and I being my soul, the peace that comes from my creator, my true self, myself that had a different face before I was born into this body, my eternal self, the self that will exist when I no longer have this body, when I no longer have this face. And so what I did was I made a conscious choice to quiet myself, my mind, and start listening to I, to be quiet enough to be able to be guided by my own eternal self, the part that came from God, the part that already has the clarity about what I'm supposed to be doing, the part that understands that the circumstances that are around me and the people that are in my life are there on purpose so that I can understand my divine purpose, so that I can come to know myself in a way that I've never known myself before, that I can evolve and grow and mature. There's aspects of me that I never would have discovered if my twin hadn't passed. And that's the bottom line. The reality is my twin had accomplished her divine purpose. She had done what she had come here to do, and I still haven't, which is why I'm still here. And the better I got at allowing myself to connect with my soul, the more clarity I gained about what I'm supposed to be doing, like the journey of 1,000 healing hugs, and making these silly videos, and turning Twinful Twin Tasha into something that's positive and impactful, and bringing a loving awareness to a struggling community, and just being me, whatever that ends up looking like. And as I got better and better at that, the survivor's guilt began to go away. Because rather than feeling guilty, I began to be able to feel purpose. Rather than feel guilty, I began to experience gratitude, I guess. I began to proactively put energy into areas that was actually having a positive impact. Because me beating myself up for surviving didn't help me have a positive impact on the world, which is deep down inside what I really wanted to do. And so those are the steps that I took. I quieted my mind so I could listen to my soul. And then whatever crazy idea came to my mind as my soul was speaking, I took action on it. And that's where the Twinful Twin journey began, and the journey of 1,000 healing hugs and the tie blanket project. These are all crazy ideas that came in those quiet moments. And that's how I got past my survivor's guilt. But it's a very personal journey, so you have to figure it out for yourself, right? And there's nothing I can say to you that's going to help you necessarily on your journey. You have to figure out what's going to work for you. I can give you all kinds of ideas and thoughts and be super creative about that, but it's a very personal thing, and what worked for me may not work for you, and I understand that. No judgment on my part. It took me a long time to figure it out, but hopefully it will at least encourage you to do what you need to do to figure out what works for you. Loving you, loving me, always in always. Take care.